Hello students, today we are once again back to another poem of your book Beehive. Good morning all of you, I hope you are safe and fine. So today children we are going to start with the next poem of your Beehive book, that is Wind. Fine. So Wind is the poem. Firstly we'll discuss about the poet. The poet is Subramanya Bharati, and at the earlier stage he has written this poetry in the Tamil form, in the Tamil language, but later on by R.K. Ramanujan it was translated in English. Fine. So who wrote this poem? Subramanya Bharati in Tamil, and then by A.K. Ramanujan it was translated in English. Understood? So let's discuss about the poem first. What is there in the poem and with which point of view the poem is written. Fine. So as we children, as we all know that wind is a natural phenomenon. Everybody know wind blows. Today also it's very cool air blowing out. So in this poem, the poem talks to the wind. The power of wind has been described, and the poet says that the wind is destructive. Destructive means which can destroy the things, which can destroy weak people, weak buildings, weak whatever, weak trees, weak plants. Fine. So the basically power of wind is described here. He has linked the destructive power of wind to the problems and the difficult situations, or we can call them adversities of life. So strong wind is being compared, or you can say the adversities of life are being compared to the difficult situation or adversities of life. And the poet says that the weak people break down. You must have heard that if there are challenges in the life, and if they are sometimes we are facing bad times, so the people who are not strong from within the heart, the people who are weak, so they can easily break down, but strong people emerge out of adversities even stronger, even better than they were earlier. So this poem gives an important message that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive in the hardships, in the problems of life. And we should be determined and stay strong in the difficult situations of life. So I think the basic idea, the summary, what is there in the poem is clear to everyone. Now let's start with the poem. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. So firstly, we'll discuss about first 6 lines. As you can say in this poem, as we talked in the earlier poem, what was the road not taken? There was a proper rhyme scheme, rhyming pattern, but here you can say first line, last word softly, then windows, then papers, then shelf. So the words are not rhyming with each other. So this poem is basically written in free verse. So there is no particular rhyme scheme of this poem. Fine. So let's discuss. Wind comes softly. So here the poet, like we talk to the children, we talk to our parents, we talk to relatives, like mama, please come here. So same way the poet is talking to the wind. What he's saying? The wind comes softly. The poet is talking to the wind. He asked the wind to come softly. So he's saying that the wind should not be very strong, should not be very loud. It should be soft and calm, subtle. Then he says that the wind is very powerful, as it is written, don't break the shutters of the windows, don't scatter the papers. It means the wind is very powerful. It can break the shutters of the windows. It can scatter the papers because the wind is very powerful. And all the books which are kept in the shelf fall down. Why the books are falling down? because the wind is very strong. And as you know, when wind come very strongly, the things which are very weak, they can flow away from here to there. So here the poet is describing the power of the wind. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it had done. How can we guess? You can see here, na, you tore the pages of the books. It means here he is talking about the destruction caused by the powerful wind. And the poet is saying to the wind to look at the destruction. Whenever there is strong wind, all the things that are weak, basically, which are not strong, like small plants, tiny children, small windows, they all get scared and they can even fall and get hurt. And we can say that in the initial part of the poem, the poet is referring to wind as a young child. As a young child means, oh wind, yeah wind, come softly, like the poet is kind of ordering. Yeah. So the next thing is, here you can see that the destruction of wind, how destructive can be the strong wind be. Fine. So he is saying that it should come softly, just like a small child does. In the later part, we come to know that the wind is destructive just like a youth, just like a young boy or a young girl who is full of energy, violence and destruction. Fine. So here you must, now the next line, like, you brought rain again, you are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Poking fun means making fun. जब हम किसी का मजाक उड़ाते हैं, poking fun means making fun, and weaklings means the people which are not strong, the people, or you can say the things which are weak, to them we call weaklings. Understood? Then weaklings, frail, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So frail means weak. Here you can see the word frail means weak. Crumbling means going to break. Going to break or about to break, you can say. Fine. So here the poet is saying that means you are very clever at poking fun. Here you can see in these lines the word crumbling is repeated so many times to put stress that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. Fine. So the poet is saying that when the wind is very powerful, it leads to breakage of everything. Houses which are very weak fall, doors which are very weak, they also fall, and the beams on which the roof of the buildings are supported, they also fall. And all the wooden structures also fall, all bodies of people fall, animals, lives, herds, everything breaks down. Why? Because they are weak. So basically the poet is saying that everything crumbles, everything breaks down, everything that is weak reacts by falling down and breaking in the face of adversity, in the problems. So the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces the challenges in the life, and then once